Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary peoples. This is Bronson's By Any Means Necessary Fantasy Football Talk for Friday, September 2nd, 2022. This is the running back 2022 fantasy season preview. I'm going to go through the top 30, talk about if I think they belong there, if they should be higher, should be lower on the ranks. I can talk about some guys outside the top 30 that I like, or basically guys, just notable guys that I mainly like, because you get outside the top 30, it's irrelevant if you don't like them or not. Just don't draft them. This is all depth pieces anyways. And then we're going to talk about some rookies to watch here. So, top 30. First start with the top 5. Let's go through the top 5. Number 1 is Jonathan Taylor. Pretty obvious he was the stud running back last year. No reason to think that won't continue this year, because for the first month of the season last year, he was just a guy in a timeshare. It wasn't until the last 3 months of the season that he really kind of took over and became the stud. So it's going to be great to see what he can do through a full 17-game schedule of being the guy. His workload may decrease a little bit, but I don't think it's going to decrease enough to where he's going to be should have any concerns about him as the number 1 pick. Before I continue, though, I want to talk about the Oregon Ducks real quick. Go Ducks tomorrow against Georgia. I'm trying not to be a biased fan. I really do think we have a chance. I think Oregon has an experienced quarterback. We're all assuming it's going to be Bo Nix, not Ty Thompson. I could go on and on about why every coaching staff seems to hate Ty Thompson. I don't get it. I wish him well, though, because he's not going to be at Oregon for long, because Dante Moore's coming in. I wouldn't expect Ty Thompson to stick around another year and be the backup. We recruited him to start, and for some reason he never started. But Georgia lost a lot of talent last year. I think Georgia's still really talented. They're still really good, and I'm not going to be surprised at all if they not only beat us, if they kick our ass. But they lost a lot of players. A lot of guys are stepping into new roles, and it's the first game of the season, so it's going to be interesting. If Georgia is going to be beatable, it's going to be in game 1 for us. So I'm glad we're getting them in week 1 and not week 5 or week 11 or whenever, because by then Georgia, we probably won't have a chance against Georgia. But a lot of growing pains, a lot of people who are, didn't play much last year, moving into new roles. I do feel like we have a chance. I don't understand how Atlanta is a neutral site when Athens to Atlanta is like the half hour. So that's a home game for Georgia. That's not a neutral site. It's some bullshit. But really envious and jealous of the people I know who are going to that game. I hope they have a really good time there. And I wish I could have went somewhere for Labor Day, but I'm a little short on funds. And I got a lot of fantasy football drafts this weekend, and so that kind of makes going somewhere for Labor Day complicated when you got all these drafts that you got to be, that I personally want to be present for. But I am going somewhere. I booked the plane tickets last night. I've never booked tickets on this short notice before. I'm going somewhere on Wednesday night, Thursday morning. So less than a week. I booked tickets, and they're still pretty good price too. So the hotel I found, good price. Flights, good price. It's just a good time to go to this place, and so I'm going to this place. I'm going anyway. Back to the football stuff. Christian McCaffrey is the number 2 running back. I don't like Christian McCaffrey too. We haven't seen him healthy in like 3 years, so I'm not buying him being healthy this year. I'm not drafting him as the 2nd overall pick or the 2nd running back. Austin Eckler at 3. I really like Eckler. He's been very durable, very good. I hope I'm wrong, but something tells me this is the year that Eckler's going to get hurt, and so you're going to want to have his backups. We'll talk about them a little later. Again, I hope I'm wrong. Hope Eckler plays the entire season or has a minor injury. If he's going to get hurt, have a minor injury, miss a game or 2. Nothing serious. 4, we got Derrick Henry. I'm actually a little higher on Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is the number 2 running back for me, because I think Derrick Henry, we've seen him be incredibly durable for the entirety of his career and in college, everywhere he's been. Last year was an anomaly. I think he also could have played at the end of the season last year. Titans were just in a good position and didn't really need him, so they didn't rush him back. I'm anticipating a monster season for Derrick Henry this year. And 5, Najee Harris. I'm not sold on Najee Harris. He gets the volume, he gets the work. He just wasn't super productive with all that volume last year. The offensive line of Pittsburgh is not a whole lot better. The quarterback situation is not a whole lot better. Nothing really has changed in Pittsburgh enough to convince me that Najee Harris is going to be a running back 1, despite all the volume that he gets. I don't have him in my top 10. Alvin Kamara at 6. Alvin Kamara's moved up a little bit because the early on in drafts he was going in the second round because there was the threat of a possible suspension, but it's looking more and more likely that criminal case is not going to get figured out until the offseason. So a suspension should not be coming this year. It will probably come at the beginning of 2023. So Alvin Kamara's moved up to 6. Dalvin Cook at 7. I got Dalvin higher just because I'm a biased Vikings fan, but I think Dalvin is just an extraordinary talent. And on a game-to-game basis, he is a top 5 running back. It's just the problem with Dalvin Cook, and it's reflected in his price, is injury concerns. 8, we got Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon was a top 5 running back last year. There's no reason to think he can't do that again. I just think that if everybody ahead of him stays healthy other than Najee, if everybody ahead of him stays healthy, they're probably going to be more productive. But Mixon's still a fine running back 1. DeAndre Swift at 9. I don't hate it, don't love it. I have drafted him because he's kind of the last guy of those top running backs that I'm really sold on. Everybody else after him I feel like has some questions. So when Swift is there, he's the guy I'm taking, but I'm not super in love with him. I think Detroit's going to be a lot better, and DeAndre Swift's situation is going to be a lot better, but is he running back 1? I don't know. We'll see. 10, we got Leonard Fournette. You got to keep in mind Leonard Fournette was a top 3 running back up until week 15 when he got hurt last year. Well, can he sustain that? I don't know, but he is very involved in the pass game. Tampa is a very fantasy-friendly offense as long as Tom Brady is out there. So Leonard Fournette, still a running back 1, still on the fringes for me. And then 11 through 15, this is the running back 2 tier. We got Javonte Williams at the top. He is everybody's, all the experts are picking him to be the breakout, move into that top 10. He's everybody's Jonathan Taylor this year. He split carries very evenly with Melvin Gordon last year. That should not be the case this year, barring injury. So Javonte Williams should get the volume to vault into the top 10. Who he's going to knock out remains to be seen. In my opinion, it's probably going to be Najee, but we'll see. 12, Aaron Jones. I got him a little lower. Aaron Jones got out. A.J. Dillon had more touches than Aaron Jones last year. The reason Aaron Jones had such fantasy success was touchdowns, and he's been very good at getting touchdowns his whole career. But can he sustain that number of touchdowns as his touches continue to decrease? I don't know. Again, but the Packers' offense could be much more run heavy this year, so that could keep Aaron Jones in the running back top tier running back 2 conversation, but I got him a little lower. He's outside my top 15. At 13, Nick Chubb. I'm real high on Nick Chubb. The Browns are going to run the crap out of the ball this year. Nick Chubb's going to run the crap out of the ball. Nick Chubb is like basically Derrick Henry. The problem with Nick Chubb coming out of college was he was very injury prone in college, but he's been very durable in the pros. Hopefully that can continue. I like Nick Chubb a lot. 14, we got James Conner. I mean, he did have quite the bounce back year in Arizona last year, and he doesn't have Chase Edmonds to deal with this year. There's not any real clear number 2 in Arizona to cut into his touches. I don't know. I'm not a big James Conner guy. I never really have been a big James Conner guy. He doesn't do anything in the passing game, and he was very touchdown dependent last year. We'll see. I don't dislike or like his ranking. I think top 15 is fine. At 15, Saquon. If Saquon's healthy, this is probably a low, but again, we haven't seen Saquon be healthy in a long time. And even when he was briefly healthy last year, he wasn't super productive. The Giants' offense is bad. We're going to see if it gets better this year. I'm not a Saquon believer. I have him as a flex, so he's outside my top 20. So I have him at 15, very high. 16, Cam Akers. We saw what Cam Akers can do before he got injured last year. And then when he was healthy in the Super Bowl run for the Rams, he did displace Darrell Henderson. So Cam Akers is a great breakout candidate. Getting a lot of hype. A good low-end running back 2 candidate who could play his way into the running back 1 conversation. I haven't drafted Cam Akers. There's just other options in this range that I'm liking better. But I don't dislike Cam Akers. I think it's a pretty fair ranking. David Montgomery at 17. I'm not a David Montgomery guy either. I don't even think he's the most talented running back in Chicago. We'll talk about another guy later. David Montgomery's going to get the volume and the touches to be in the running back 2 conversation. I just have him a little lower than 17. 18, Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott at this stage of his career is kind of a value pick in my opinion, because we know he could be a running back 1, and so getting him at the low end running back 2 spot, it's kind of a steal. I've been drafting Ezekiel a little bit more than I really want to, but you know, I'm all about value, and I really think Ezekiel's a value at running back 18. I've got him a little higher. I've got him in my top 15. I would switch out Ezekiel Elliott and Saquon, in my personal opinion. 19, Travis Etienne. He's at 19. I think he's another guy who should be a little higher. He's going to have a breakout year. And then Breece Hall at 20 of the Jets, the rookie. I'm a huge believer in Breece Hall's talent. I've been drafting Breece Hall a lot. I think he's going to take him a little bit. He's going to split carries with Michael Carter, but I think eventually he's going to be the guy. Kind of like with Jonathan Taylor and the Colts last year. Breece Hall, through the first few weeks of the season, he's probably going to have a light workload, but down the stretch, the last 2-3 months of the season, he's going to be a stud because he's easily the most talented running back the Jets have. Now for the running back 3 tier, 21, we got Josh Jacobs. I've been trying to buy Josh Jacobs a lot throughout his career, but this year I'm selling. He's just not very good. Josh Jacobs just isn't very good, and so he is playing for a contract though, so should be motivated. He will get the work most likely, unless he is not productive enough. Then he could lose some touches, which is something to monitor. And we'll talk about some more options to handcuff Josh Jacobs or replace Josh Jacobs later. But Josh Jacobs is a fine flex running back. He's probably one of the better ones. That's why he's at 21, running back 3. 22, J.K. Dobbins is getting a lot of disrespect because of the injury. We don't know how healthy he's going to be. He hasn't played this preseason. But I think he's a value guy. I think he's definitely a running back 2, going at running back 3 price. So he's a value pick. 23, Elijah Mitchell. I'm not touching him. It's not that I don't think Elijah Mitchell's good. I think Elijah Mitchell's very talented. He's the clear-cut guy in San Francisco for now. But you got to keep in mind, Kyle Shanahan is Kyle Shanahan, and he loves to use different running backs every year. So this could be Jeff Wilson's year. This could be Tyrion Davis-Price's year. Elijah Mitchell could completely fall out of the rotation. Also, and if they continue to use Deebo Samuel in the way they used Deebo Samuel at the end of the year last year, Elijah Mitchell's not going to get the goal line touches, which is going to help him be more productive. Elijah Mitchell's the one guy that I am steering completely clear of this year. Haven't touched him. He's on my do not draft list. 24, we got Antonio Gibson. He's low because there was some talk that he was going to lose his job. And we'll talk about that more later. But Antonio Gibson is trending back up because of some unfortunate circumstances. But Antonio Gibson was the top 15 running back last year. So getting him at this spot as a running back 3 as a flex is a value pick. And then 25, we got Clyde Edwards-Helaire, another guy who's a little lower because there was some talk that he may lose his starting job to Ronald Jones, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the supremely talented back in Kansas City, and he's in a really good offense. So again, he's another guy who he may not get the volume, may not get a lot of touches, but he's going to produce with his touches that he gets, and I like him very much as a high-end flex as possible running back too. Now 26 through 30, Devin Singletary 26. He's way down on my board because I don't think he's going to be the starter in Buffalo for very long. We'll talk about that more later on. Miles Sanders 27. Don't like him at all. Miles Sanders sucks. I don't think he's very good. I don't know why Philly hasn't upgraded at the running back position yet. But Miles Sanders is the de facto guy in Philly. He will get the primary carries, but will he score touchdowns? He didn't score touchdowns last year. So we got to think that will regress more to the mean in a positive direction. He may get more touchdowns. So he may be, still a decent flex play, low-end running back too. I don't like him. You guys can have him. 28, Dameon Pierce has really climbed up this list lately. He's now in the top 30. He's still at 28 though. He's going to be the starter in Houston. He is a guy I know Houston's a bad offense. It remains to be seen how much work he'll get because he's never got a heavy workload in his college career. But I really think Houston's probably going to be behind a lot. So he may not get a lot of work. That's why he's low. He's a flex play. Probably going to be a flex play most of the year. But I think he's a great depth piece that you should be targeting in the middle rounds of your draft. At 29, we got Kareem Hunt. We know Kareem Hunt's a supremely talented back. He's just stuck behind Nick Chubb. There was talk that he may get traded this offseason. Didn't happen. He's still going to be, over the last couple of years, we've seen how he's been used in Cleveland. He's still been a very fantasy relevant guy. I don't think that's going to change. His usage I think his usage will go up a little bit, so he may even be a better fantasy option. Still just a flex play because you don't know week to week how consistent and reliable he's going to be touches wise, but the production will be there because he's talented. If you have Nick Chubb, you should definitely be getting Hunt too, because Kareem Hunt, barring some injury to Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt instantly becomes a top 3, not a top 3, but like one of the top 3 handcuffs in football. And then at 30, we got A.J. Dillon. I got A.J. Dillon higher. I think the price on A.J. Dillon is outstanding. I've been buying A.J. Dillon wherever I can because he could surpass Aaron Jones as a running back 1 in Green Bay this year. And you're gonna have to pay a 2nd round price for Aaron Jones. You pay like a 9th, 10th round price for A.J. Dillon. That's huge. I'll sell Aaron Jones all day. Buy A.J. Dillon every time. And A.J. Dillon is such a big back. Him and Aaron Jones both really good at finding the end zone, and I think they're both going to catch a lot of passes this year too. So both are going to be very fantasy relevant. Now, for some guys outside the top 30 to who I like, Rashad Penny at 36. He's the guy in Seattle right now. He's been injury prone throughout his career. He may not be the guy in Seattle for long, but I think both of these running backs that Seattle has are going to be the primary offensive option for this team. So they're both going to be weekly flex plays when they're on the field. So Rashad Penny going at 36, a little low. 44, Raheem Mostert. Now, Raheem Mostert's very talented. Raheem Mostert is a running back, a high-end running back too, when he is healthy, but he's so rarely been healthy. It's a surprise to me that he's still playing. Honestly, I thought he would retire, but he is the guy in Miami. Miami did go out and spend a lot of money on running backs because they were so bad for the last couple of years. They finally, thank the gods, we don't have to deal with Myles Gaskin anymore. I don't have to talk shit on Myles Gaskin every single week because the Dolphins finally have some legitimate running backs. But Raheem Mostert, can he stay healthy? That's the question. That's the huge question. As long as he's healthy, he's in the running back 2 conversation, but the injury risk is just so high that you can't draft him inside the top 30. Alex Madison, 47. He's a running back 1 whenever Dalvin Cook misses time. So even if you don't have Dalvin Cook, you should be targeting Alex Madison late because he will be a massive depth piece for you, a massive ace in the hole for you. If I want to say if. I don't want to say when. I want to say if Dalvin Cook makes his hire. And there was some talk that Alex Madison could get traded because he is a free agent at the end of the year and he's not going to resign in Minnesota. He's already said that. I don't blame him. He wants to be a starter. He deserves to be a starter. Minnesota's not going to pay him to start because we have Dalvin Cook. We paid Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook's better. Alex Madison's really good. Dalvin Cook's better. So there's talk that he could have been traded. He hasn't been traded yet, but he may be traded in the season if a team loses a running back. And he'll instantly be running back 1 if and when that happens. So he's someone that I've been drafting late because he's a league-winning running back to me. And then 50, Khalil Herbert. I think Khalil Herbert is the best running back the Bears have. He should be starting over David Montgomery, in my opinion. Hopefully he sees more work, like they kind of, because the Bears' offense can be bad. They need to give the ball to their running backs as much as possible. Montgomery, Herbert. I hope they see like a 60-40, 65-35 split, so Khalil Herbert can still be a fantasy relevant guy. As of now, he's really ranked low because he doesn't have a path to consistent touches. And Sony Michel just signed by the Chargers because the Dolphins cut him. He's the guy who's probably going to be the backup to Austin Eckler. And Austin Eckler, like I said, I do have a hunch that this is the year he's going to get hurt. So you might want to have Sony Michel or another guy, a rookie, who we're going to talk about later. So, the rookies. 5 rookies to talk about here. Kenneth Walker. I'm a huge Kenneth Walker guy. I think Kenneth Walker is going to be the offensive rookie of the year. I think he's going to overtake Rashad Penny in the Seattle backfield. He's going to be the guy sooner rather than later. Kenneth Walker is exactly the kind of running back that Pete Carroll loves. He is Marshawn Lynch-esque. He may even be better than Marshawn Lynch. We'll see. I know that's kind of blasphemy to Seahawks fans, but I think Kenneth Walker is a dude. Kenneth Walker is a dude. I'm excited to see what he can do in the NFL. I'm drafting Kenneth Walker everywhere. He may miss week 1, and so that's going to set him behind Rashad Penny, but early on. But again, this could be a Jonathan Taylor situation where Kenneth Walker doesn't do much first few weeks, then just explodes at the end of the season and comes into next year and going in the first round. James Cook of the Bills, I think he's going to be the guy in Buffalo. Eventually, he's going to overtake Devin Singletary. James Cook's really good in the passing game, and he's Dalvin Cook's little brother. So we know he's got talent. He came from Georgia, the stacked Georgia team last year that had like 14 draft picks. James Cook's the most talented back the Bills have. He's going to be the guy. He's a guy you can get super late who could be in the running back 2 mix before the end of the season. Brian Robinson was supposed to be the guy in Washington. It was rumored that he was going to take over. He had surpassed Antonio Gibson in the Washington backfield, but then he got shot. And so luckily he had no serious injuries. I think that's very fortunate. But he does have to recover. Obviously he's not going to be ready to play early on in the season. He could miss the first few weeks. But if you have an open IR spot, then Brian Robinson's a great person to put there because when he comes back, he could overtake Antonio Gibson. So there's some risk in drafting Antonio Gibson. That's why his ranking is so low. But I'm still drafting him because I honestly think that Antonio Gibson is going to be the year he was top 15 last year, like I said, but I think this is going to be the year he figures it out and proves to be a draft steal because he's angry. But Brian Robinson could still be fantasy relevant when he comes back because he's a bigger back, so he could be the guy. Because Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissic, not big backs, not good on the goal line. Brian Robinson could be that guy for the Commanders later on in the season. Zamir White, the other Georgia running back, drafted to the Raiders. If Josh Jacobs does not come out and perform, he could find himself on the bench pretty quickly. Zamir White, the guy that this coaching staff drafted, the guy that they like, he's a 3rd round pick, could surpass him on the depth chart. So Zamir White is someone to watch. And then Isaiah Spiller of the Chargers. Slow down for a minute. Isaiah Spiller is the guy. I think he's the second most talented running back the Chargers have. I can't believe he fell into the draft as far as he did. I think he's going to be... Sonny Michel will be the primary backup early on. And Sonny Michel might be the guy who gets the goal line work. I mean, Austin Eckler did score a lot of touchdowns last year. Austin Eckler, it's been a revelation. What a stud Austin Eckler turned out to be, from Western Colorado School of Mines, wherever the hell he came from, being 5'3", 116 pounds. Like, he's a stud. Sonny Michel's gonna be the guy on the goal line early on, the early backup. But Isaiah Spiller, I think, is gonna be the guy before the end of the season. And if Austin Eckler gets hurt, Isaiah Spiller is much more likely to fill that passing game role that Austin Eckler fills so well, and more than Sonny Michel. Because Sonny Michel's never been known as a guy who catches a lot of balls. So Isaiah Spiller, Sonny Michel, both guys to watch. I personally would lean towards Isaiah Spiller. If I'm in a deep league, there's no chance in hell I'm drafting Isaiah Spiller. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not drafting him unless I'm in like a 16-team league or something, or a 12-team league where it just running backs just get wiped out by everybody and I don't have a choice. That's never happened though. I've never gotten caught short running backs. I always make sure I'm running back's the most important position in fantasy football, in my humble opinion. So I always have them. Probably always have too many, and but I'd much rather have too many than not enough. But Isaiah Spiller is a guy who I'm definitely going to have on my watch list, and he's going to be a waiver wire priority for me if, Austin Eckler misses a game. Because I think a lot of people are going to be leaning towards Sonny Michel. So they're going to be going after Sonny Michel. I'm going to be zigging where they're zagging. I'm going to be getting Isaiah Spiller because I think he's going to be the guy, not Sonny Michel. That's just my opinion. What do I know? I'm just a dude who films these videos in my bedroom, and so and has like 5 subscribers. I like to think I'm pretty good at this silly little game of chance and luck, but again, it is all luck. You can be good. You can be good at something. You can take your team to the playoffs almost every year. That's talent. Luck is winning the damn league. So. I know I'm good at this game, but I'm not lucky. So I don't always win the championship, but I usually get to the playoffs. I'm just not lucky in any aspect of my life, if we're being honest here. But you guys don't care about that. That's not what you tuned in for. You tuned in for football stuff, and I am surprised that I was able to get this done in under half an hour. I really thought running backs would be the one I'd spent the most time talking about, but it ended up being wide receivers. Yeah, that's it. I guess I'm waiting for a call from UPS to see if I'm double shifting today. I kind of hope I don't, because I do want to go out and make some Uber money. I didn't make a whole lot of money for lunch. And I'm kind of, feeling a little stressed about money because I'm trying to go on vacation next week. So all the money I make this week is funding that vacation. And so I need, I got to pay for the hotel, and then, which is going to be like $300 for 4 nights. So not terrible, but that's how much money I've made so far this week. So all the money I make now, today, Saturday, Sunday, that's all extra money. That's all the stuff to, go enjoy my time in my 4 days where I'm going. And so, get a rental car, stuff like that. So I need to make as much money as I can. But if I do go work at UPS today, it'll be my 6th shift of the week, so it'll be overtime. So tonight will be overtime, tomorrow morning will be overtime. So 2 shifts of overtime if it happens, which it may not. They haven't called me yet, so who knows if they will. But peace, love, and nacho fries. That's all the football stuff I have for you until, season starts Thursday, and Sunday is week 1, basically. So, I don't think I'll have a whole lot of football to talk about until week 2. So, Tuesday, September 13th, I think. Yeah, that'll be the waiver day when we'll get our first waiver wire video of the season. I cannot wait. I'm excited for football season. I'm excited to be able to actually sit down and put 100% of my focus on Sundays and watching football. So it's going to be great. So, all right. Have a good time. Good luck in your drafts. You guys can hit me up if you got any questions. I would love to talk fantasy football with you absolutely anytime.